It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Believe in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code BELIEVE. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Believe Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where Tits and Ass is back. It's Lost in the Midcard. Lots of news this weekend, and amazingly enough, it mostly came out of Impact Wrestling. We'll talk about that. Bound for Glory. Gunther passes a gigantic milestone, and a lot more to talk about. Some free agency, rumors, contracts, and also some pay-per-view news, and also a retirement announcement as well. Chat is going nuts. Welcome. Thank you for joining. If you haven't done so already, go to Believe in Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel, Believe, B-L-E-A-V. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so that way you know every time we go live or every time a recorded interview, maybe by Rick Ucchino, goes live on the channel as well. Make sure to share it with your friends as well so we can get as many people in the chat as possible. Don't forget as well, as winners will be drawn, I believe, on November 1st. Full Gear, you can go to Full Gear. Giving away 2 pairs of tickets to Full Gear. And so what you got to do is go to Rick Ucchino's Twitter, at Rick Ucchino, RICKUCCHINO. Retweet that, and of course, subscribe to Believe in Pro Wrestling to get yourself entered for that contest, which is, of course, headlined by MGF and Switchblade Jay White. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers, and as always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Doing all right. Not feeling good about my fantasy football chances tonight. I am up by 13. Nobody left to play against the San Francisco 49ers defense and the Minnesota Vikings tight end. So essentially, I need Minnesota to score a bunch of points on San Francisco and none of those points to come from the tight end. So I am not at all hopeful that I am winning this weekend's game. A big FU to Mostart and Swift, and especially a big FU to Calvin Ridley, who will no longer be on my fantasy team after this week.
I wouldn't drop him, but
he's being dropped.
Well, somebody will pick him up right away and probably
good.
Go off.
Someone else could have his shit production this year.
Yeah, I don't know. My league, I'm not going to win, and one of my bigger leagues, I'm not going to win. So, my big league, though, I'm actually winning for a change. I'm up like 25, and I think he's got Ayuk and some jabroni. I don't know. It's like nothing really close either way. So there's like only one game, only one league that I'm very close in. So. We'll see what happens. What we got, Niners and Vikings tonight on lost to the NFL Midcard.
I'm not looking forward to tonight. I'm not.
Yeah.
I know. I like I said, Minnesota. I don't feel like Minnesota's really shown up all year, and I don't expect them to show up on Monday night against the 49ers. Like I expect
Even
the
says
49ers
have faith
to be
in
one
Ridley.
of those. I have no faith in Ridley. He's done. He's a bum. He's out. I'm kicking him off my team. Sending his ass to the waiver wire. He's gone.
You're going to regret it.
I ain't going to regret shit. Ain't going to regret shit. Jacoby Myers putting up great numbers. Poku Nakayo, or however you pronounce his name, putting up great numbers. Calvin Ridley, trash. Dispense him into the dumpster with all the other junk wide receivers of the league.
Well, the big news out of the weekend was Bound for Glory, Impact's biggest pay-per-view of the year happening. I did not get a chance to watch it. I was gone all weekend with football games and all that stuff, and I did a lot of sleeping on Sunday. So I did not get a chance to watch this at all, but Matt did. Matt, what were your overall thoughts on the pay-per-view wrestling-wise before we get into the news at the end?
I thought overall the show was very good. I thought it was another good pay per view from Impact. They've consistently put out really good pay per views all year. And I didn't see this one being any different than the other ones they've done. I thought it was a very good show.
Yeah, looked like I definitely want to check it out, especially for Ospreay and Bailey and Saban and Kenta. Those sounded like those are really good
Speedball and
matches.
Ospreay was amazing.
I called the call your shot. I said Jordan Grace was going to win it, but I didn't call the title shot. She announced it right away. She's
Yeah,
going for Trinity.
I didn't like her. I did not like her announcing it right away.
Yeah.
I was like, you're kind of ruining, any shock value that whole call your shot thing has. I thought it was kind of odd for her to call on that immediately.
Hell, I would have, yeah. I mean, I'd have her just show up against Alex Shelley and pin him and become the world champ. I thought maybe that'd be the direction they'd go with, but
It would have been nice if they at least teased it for a week or two. They didn't have to go that direction, but at least teased the fact that was a possibility. I thought them having her announce it immediately after the match was the wrong move.
MK Ultra retained their tag titles. Saban retained the X Division title. A change in the tag team as ABC using Chris Bay's Feast or Fire tag team title match to defeat the Rascals. And then Trinity, of course, retaining her Knockouts championship and Alex Shelley retaining against Josh Alexander as well. So that kind of really solidifies Shelley as champion by defeating the guy that did not lose the title. So some surprises in the Call Your Shot include Juventud Guerrero, Sonny Kiss, who is now officially going to be on the roster full time. Matt Cardona, we got some news on Matt Cardona as well. Guess that was kind of it for the surprises there for the most. I think, was Bully Ray a surprise?
No. We all knew his dumbass was coming out.
His dumbass. So yeah, there you go. A couple little surprises in the Call Your Shot. At the end, now this is really has split the internet in half. At the end, they have announced that Impact Wrestling is going to go back to TNA. Some people excited, some people are not. It's going to start with at Hard to Kill, which is in the beginning of the year, January 13th. Will be the official return of Total Nonstop Action. Matt, what are I know your thoughts, but give the chat your thoughts, and also in the chat, let us know what you think about the switch to TNA.
Look, this is coming from someone who watched this company from day one through their weekly Wednesday night $10 pay-per-views when they were NWA TNA. And I've pretty much stuck with this company through hell or high water over the last 20 plus years. Reverting back to the name TNA in 2024 is a ridiculously stupid move. You're not going. You might be able to make the general wrestling fan who's already familiar with your product, or people who are, diehards for your product already, this might make them happy, but you're certainly not going to grow and expand your brand by reverting your company back to the name that everybody has made fun of consistently for the last 2 decades. Like the LOL TNA, TNA LOL, like that's all coming back next year. Like it's inevitable. Like it's not going away. And if Impact / TNA, whatever they want to call themselves now, if they're fine with never getting any bigger than they are right now, then more power to them. But the fact of the matter is, they've established a good brand with the Impact Wrestling name over the last several years. And it's actually, their business is steadily increased because of it. Going back to TNA, to me, basically says we're on Access TV for life. Because I can't imagine Anthem going to a, as Billy Corgan would like to call them, a top 20 network and saying, hey, we want our wrestling product on your channel. It's called TNA. You know, that might have flown 20 years ago because people were
A lot
more
of
in on the
stuff flown
joke.
20 years ago.
Yes, exactly. We are in a different society now than we were then.
25
and
more or less, but
I think the idea of a company calling themselves TNA in 2024 is about as tone deaf as you can get.
It's going to be on Saturday night pay-per-views. It's going to be a tits and ass versus a titty slap.
I can't see this benefiting the company long term. Sure, everybody's talking about them right now, and that's great and good for them. But 6 months from now, a year from now, I think we're all going to look back on this and go, yeah, Matt was right. This was a move that they shouldn't have made.
Steven in the chat, as long as there's not a six-sided ring, they have already confirmed.
The six-sided ring's not coming back.
It's already been confirmed. I mean, we've already seen this with Ring of Honor. They're never consistent. CW's never been consistent of when they put Ring of Honor on. It's going to be like hunting and pecking. So I doubt
Ring of Honor, WoW, NWA, it's all the same thing with CW. It all comes down to syndication times.
Yeah.
Because CW syndicated television, it's different all across the United States. So where like NWA will air in Los Angeles is not the same time that it will air in Baltimore, or or vice versa. Like some places it's going to air like 1 a.m. on Sunday morning. Some places it'll air 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoons. Like it's going to be random, and your best chance to catch wrestling products on the CW is just setting your DVR up to record them when they're on, because if not, you probably are going to miss them because like the timing is never, consistent. So yeah, NWA might want to celebrate their CW thing, but it's really not that big of a deal. I know of independent wrestling companies local to their area run on the freaking CW network. It's not that big of a deal.
No.
So like I would love for Impact to try to go out in 2024 full steam ahead and try to land themselves a better television deal. But I can't help but feel that the TNA name branding will hinder that more than it will help.
Well, you also got to remember
that's my biggest hang up on the entire thing. I want this company to thrive and to be bigger and better, and I feel this name is only going to drag them backwards.
Well, plus you got to remember who owns Access. It's Anthem. Are you sure?
And that's why they're consistently on that channel, because they don't have to worry about it.
They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna get. They're not gonna move to a different network. I don't.
Yeah, but if they want to grow their audience, they need to get off Access. They've hit their max of what they're going to get on that channel, unless somehow magically Access TV starts ending up in more cable.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's what they got to do
now.
That's what they got to do, is they got to get it on basic cable, and they got to get it on like YouTube TV. I don't know if it's on Fubo or Sling, but it's definitely not on YouTube TV. That's why I don't get to watch Impact as often.
That's a problem.
I mean, I obviously I work Tuesdays and Thursdays doing trivia hosting, so I wouldn't be able to watch it live anyways. And I still pay $1 to Impact a month to where I could watch it.
You can watch it anytime you want on there.
On demand. It's just a matter of fact. There's only so much I can freaking. there's only so much I can catch up on.
There is
wrestling.
So much wrestling content in 2023. This is why I always tell people, like, you don't have to watch anything anymore. Like there's so much wrestling content on. You can watch wrestling almost any day of the week that you want, And you don't have to watch everything. You can watch what you enjoy and you can skip what you don't. Like, there's no reason to hate watch a wrestling product anymore just because, well, this is the only thing on.
Yeah, and
Like what happened when WWE took out WCW and ECW, and it was just like, well, I still love wrestling. WWE is the only thing in town, so I either watch WWE or nothing at all. Like, that's not the case anymore. Like,
No.
there's so much wrestling on right now. You can pick and choose what you want to watch, and I don't, like I said, short term, there's value in the buzz for what Impact has done, bringing back the TNA name. But on a permanent basis, 1 year from now, when we're looking at Bound for Glory 2024, is the company going to be in a better position 1 year from now than they are right now? I'm going to say no. I don't think they're going to be. I think this is going to hurt them long term.
The only way is if they get access in more homes.
Or get a better TV deal. And that would be.
But do you actually think they're going to get one? Like, or are they even going to try to get one with it being owned by Anthem?
You would think that they would want their product to be seen by more people, because until the product is seen by more people, you can't become a profitable company. There's no way that Impact isn't hemorrhaging money for Anthem. Like, I can't imagine that company's actually making them money right now with all the contracts and everything that company entails. Like, it has to be a money losing endeavor for Anthem right now. They need to do something to start turning the profit for that company. Yeah. And I think a television deal on a bigger network would be the direction to go.
Yep.
But I don't think the TNA name is going to help that. I think it's going to hurt it.
And if you go to a different network, maybe you can debut with this guy, because Mr. CM Punk.
Well, it would be great if not only they go for a new network, they could also start producing live weekly TV.
Yeah, and
would also be a big help.
Yeah, that too. CM Punk backstage for the very next day for the Bound for Glory Fallout, which the headline of that is Josh Alexander against Will Ospreay for the Impact World Championship. CM Punk backstage.
Huh? Shelly retained, dude.
Or Shelly, I'm sorry. Shelly against Will Ospreay.
No, it's Ospreay and Alexander. No title on the line.
What the hell? I saw a graphic that said title on the line.
No, the stipulation was if Alexander beat Shelly at Bound for Glory, that it would be for
so that was an old graphic that showed up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyways.
Anywho.
Fucking confusing. CM Punk backstage at the Fallout tapings. Of course, Impact has already brought in Punk's trainer and friend, Ace Steel. And so he was backstage, said to be a very pleasant experience. But I think Sean Ross Sapp said this on Fightful Select, or either that or my buddy John Canton. He basically makes 10 to 15 times more than the highest paid Impact wrestler on the roster. So for him to go to Impact would be an act of God, basically. They'd almost have to have a big TV deal in order to do that. Unless he takes a lot less, he has to take
a... should.
Yeah.
Because at this point in his career, it can't be about the money right now.
Especially if he wants to try to audition for WWE.
Yes, exactly. It has to be about repairing your image in the hopes that you can go back to WWE in the future. And if he doesn't do that, I don't see WWE ever going to be like, yeah, we're gonna bring you back. Yeah. Like that does not seem like it's it doesn't seem like it's happening ever again.
Yeah.
So, but if he goes to Impact for a year and he keeps his nose clean and you hear nothing but great things about him coming out of the locker room, I think there's a chance at that point WWE's like, all right, maybe dude's mellowed out. Let's sit down at a table with him and let's see if we can.
There's going to be a whole lot of what ifs in that contract, though, if he goes back to WWE. Obviously, Bound for Glory in Chicago, so everybody thought Punk would show up at the pay-per-view. He did not. Of course, Survivor Series is in Chicago,
he was
so
down
everybody's
the street at the Blackhawks game.
Yeah, everybody's going to say he's going to show up at the pay-per-view at Survivor Series too.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Spoiler: he won't. Fightful recently reported that it was clearly a long shot Impact Wrestling and those associated of him coming to the company. Punk appeared backstage months ago, made a good impression on many there, got along with a number of people on the roster, and enjoyed his time there. House of Wrestling reported that he was backstage at Sunday's tapings and was seen as very helpful. I just mentioned about Ace Steel being there. Impact had been interested in Steel when he was let go for the first time from AEW when Punk was still with the company. A few weeks ago, those close to Punk claimed that they didn't think he'd want to join the company, but also said that if he woke up one day and just decided he wanted to wrestle Josh Alexander or the Motor City Machine Guns, he likely could if he wanted to. Another person in touch with Punk said he would under the right circumstances. A big hurdle, of course, is what I just mentioned, the salary. He's making that much more than the highest paid. He's making that much more than the highest paid player. It's not an average, median, or whatever. That's the highest paid person in the company. He made 15 to 20 times. I said 10 to 15. It was actually Fightful Select.
If I'm
15
Impact,
to 20 times. It was not 10 to 15. It was 15 to 20 times. So
look. If I'm Impact, I sit Punk down in a room with Ace Steel, all his friends, Tommy Dreamer, everybody in that company that's friends with Punk, and I'm like, look, we don't have the financial backing of a WWE or an AEW. This is what our top guy makes. X. Not going to tell you which guy it is, but this is how much our top guy here makes. We will match this for you to bring you in for a year.
Well, who is that? Who do you think is the top guy?
I don't know. Maybe
Bully?
Moose, maybe Josh Alexander, somewhere one of those guys. If I had to guess. So I know Moose recently signed a big contract with them
Moose
earlier this year. So
I'm gonna say
Moose
match.
I'm gonna say Moose or Josh Alexander.
Moose is the next to challenge Alex Shelley, and that'll be hard to kill because Moose got the world title Feast or Fired.
Yeah, briefcase. The Feast or Fired thing. But yeah, like that's how you have to pitch it.
Yep.
I'm not talking multi-year for you, Punk. Come in for a year. Improve to everybody that you can still do this, and you can come in here and contribute without being a locker room problem.
A cancer.
You said it more blunt. You're saying it more blunt than I am. I'm trying to be kind. But
going from one free agent to another, I think if it wasn't already clear that this gentleman is heading to the United States with a big deal, coming out of Fightful earlier today. Actually, this came from Mike Johnson at PW Insider. Will Ospreay has hired Barry Bloom to represent him ahead of his free agency in February of 2024. Bloom also represents Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Jericho, and has represented Nash, Hall, and Jesse Ventura in the past. Obviously, there have been reports of WWE having interest, and of course, AEW is an obvious interest, and Impact as well, because of course he wrestled at Bound for Glory. But I think the news that he has hired a big-time pro wrestling agent almost guarantees he's going to WWE or AEW, don't you think?
Yeah, I was going to say two guaranteed things in my mind tell me from him signing with Barry Bloom. One, he's not going to remain with New Japan Pro Wrestling because they're not going to be able to afford him. And two, he's not going to sign with Impact because of the sad thing with New Japan. They're not going to be able to afford him. If you're going to an agent like Barry Bloom, you're looking to get the biggest possible deal that you can possibly, get. And you're not gonna sign a Barry Bloom to remain in New Japan or to sign with Impact. So Ospreay is either going to WWE or he's going to AEW. And I think AEW has a lot of benefits in his favor because if he goes to AEW, he'll be able to continue to still do stuff with New Japan, and he'll be able to do his outside indie companies that he likes to do in the UK and stuff like that. If he goes to WWE, all that's off the table. I think all of his past experiences with AEW over the last year have been very positive for him. And I do think this is This is AEW's contract to lose right now. Like as long as Tony Khan, ponies up the money, I don't see Ospreay going to WWE. I see him landing in AEW. But
And that relationship's already there.
But this time last year, we all thought it was almost a lock that Jay White was going to WWE, and then that all fell apart. True. So like it's never a lock, but it seems to me that Will Ospreay is on his way to AEW full time next year. So, and like I said, that benefits Ospreay because Ospreay will continue to be able to work for New Japan, and I think that's something that's important to him. So, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't even be surprised if he signed with AEW that they would let him win Impact date now and then. Because as far as I understand, they have a decent working relationship. If he wanted to go over and do a match or two at some point, throughout the calendar year 2024 with TNA or Impact, whatever they're going to call themselves, I don't think Tony Khan would tell him no. But I mean, all that's out the door if he signs with WWE. You don't get to go anywhere. You're WWE, and that's all there is to it. And while WWE looks really great right now, we're just one bad Ari Emanuel decision away from Vince McMahon being back in creative power. So you always have that looming over your head too. To me, it's like Ospreay and AEW seems like a no-brainer right now, and I honestly I would be very surprised to see it go any other way.
You really think Ari would reverse that?
You don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, Ari's got the final say. And if for some odd reason all of a sudden business starts to go down, and ticket sales go down, and pay-per-views go down, and and their stock goes down, maybe they do. Like, who knows, man? I don't want to see that happen, and it honestly gives me a headache just thinking about it. But you can't rule it out.
Yeah.
But right now, WWE has a very good product without Vince McMahon being involved, and I really hope that it stays that way.
Yeah, and it's clear that with a Triple H-led WWE, Will Ospreay could thrive, much like an AJ Styles type of wrestler, where in Vince's WWE, hell no. So, yeah.
Well, they haven't used Styles very lately at all.
A big milestone.
I don't want to use Styles as a barometer right now.
Well, with Styles at least is a former world champion, where you thought that would never happen with him being an Impact guy for so long. But this guy is definitely a WWE. Of course, this guy isn't because of Vince either. Thankfully, Triple H is in charge, because I don't think Gunther would have been 500 days as Intercontinental Champion under Vince. But
Vince was ready to take the title off of him.
Exactly. But Gunther recently passing 500 days, of course, as you know. He roughly 70 of those days ago, he passed the Honky Tonk Man for the all-time reign, which was September 7th is when he passed him. Hell of a champion. I guarantee you he's going to be up there for a marquee for Wrestler of the Year, period. Wrestler of the Year. I think he's going to be up there for that. I still want Gable to take it off him. Who do you want to dethrone Gunther?
I mean, Gable's the best story.
Yep.
When they want to get back to that, and I don't think they get back to that until they decide it's time to take the title off of Gunther. So,
yeah.
I feel like they're going to pay the Gable story off, but it's just a matter of when they decide that they want to do it. I think Gable's the guy to take it from Gunther. I do.
I agree. Some sad news we learned on Dynamite this past Wednesday. Stinger has announced.
Before we get to the sad stain news, did you see Matt Cardona's tweet?
No.
Okay. Gunther put out a tweet that said 500 exclamation point with him with the Intercontinental title, and Cardona quote retweeted it and said 1 with an exclamation point with him holding the title on top of the ladder at WrestleMania 32.
And we were both in attendance for that. I was in, and were you?
That was my favorite moment of the show. And then they took it away from me the following night on Raw.
Did you go to Raw too? I did.
I did.
I was there.
I've gone to every time when I go to Mania now, I always go to the Raw after Mania because didn't go to the Raw after Mania in Miami for 28, and that's the night Lesnar came back to the company.
Oh,
And I very much sat at my home stewing and regretting and being angry over the fact that I wasn't there. So I've always made it a point now, if I go to WrestleMania, I always go to the Raw the night after because I don't want to miss something important.
yeah, 32 is the only one I've been to, so I don't think I'm going to go to 40, but we'll see what happens.
I was thinking about it. I don't think I'm going either.
Though Cody may finish the story at 40. This guy right here is going to finish the story in January as Sting has announced his final match will be at AEW Revolution, which
that's more like late February, early March.
Yeah, I guess so. I was used to them being in January, but February. It's probably right after the Rumble then.
It's Revolution is typically falling late February, early March, so it could be like March, like 4th or 5th. Like, let me see what the calendar rolls around in a few months here. Yeah, March 3rd is a Sunday, so I could see Revolution being March 3rd, 2024. That'll be my educated guess.
Yeah, some reason I had it early in my. Well, yeah, like the last 3 Revolutions have been March 7th, March 6th, March 5th. So.
And look, I don't count out the fact that there'll probably be another pay-per-view before we get the Revolution with the way
apparently there's
pumping out those pay-per-views now for Warner Brothers Discovery.
Well, the word is there's already going to be a December pay-per-view. So
December 30th, we talked about that weeks ago on here. I told everybody about that. So
who knows if they sneak a January one in there too?
Yeah, somewhere like mid January, early February. When I am not rolling that out. Definitely rolling it out.
This is odd because this is probably unless he's wrestling up until then. Who do you want his final match to be against?
I definitely see him continuing to compete between now and Revolution. Like, I don't think this is I have one match left in me and it's 4 months from now. I don't foresee that being Sting's MO. But whatever it is,
he hasn't wrestled a singles match in AEW, has he?
Well, Sting has been very clear he doesn't want to wrestle singles matches.
Yeah.
So I feel like whatever it is, it's gonna be Sting and Darby against somebody. So what it should be is it should finally be Sting and Darby getting their AEW World Tag Team title shot. And them, unfortunately, losing. Or they could win it and then put the tag titles up in a tournament.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, they could do that. But, I mean, everybody's always said for the longest time, like, look at Darby and Sting's tag team record. Why haven't they gotten an AEW World Tag Team title shot? So
I don't think that's going to happen, Mark Cho.
I would not be surprised if we see Flair on Dynamite this week. Or at least between now and Revel. I think if I had to put money down, if we will see Ric Flair on AEW programming between now and Revolution, I would say 90-10. I think it is a very, very good possibility we see Flair before
Hogan's still under the WWE deal, though.
Isn't Brennan and Hogan.
That's funny.
Not only is Tony Khan not interested in Brennan and Hogan, that crowd response on Wednesday pretty much solidified any shot that Tony would even consider bringing that man into that company, and that's not happening.
Yeah. So Mark Cho says he thinks the GIF is going to be an open contract. That's it was announced on Collision that Tony Khan is going to present Sting with a gift on Wednesday.
I think it's going to be some kind of like lifetime achievement award, like a Rolex or golden baseball bat or something like that. I don't
first inductee into the AEW.
I don't think it's maybe. I don't think it's going to be a storyline like the gift being an open. I don't think whatever the gift is from Tony Khan to Sting, I think it's going to be genuine. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool moment. Whatever ends up being that Dynamite card Wednesday is stacked, dude. That is a stacked freaking show. So part of me even considering, hopping on a train and going up to Philly on Wednesday to go see it. Like, the card's that damn stacked.
How long is the train ride?
Not too far. I just don't want to go by myself. I hate going to wrestling events alone. I like going with somebody else.
Here we go. MJF Juice Robinson for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Hook and RVD taking on Silver and Reynolds. Danielson and Castagnoli taking on Orange Cassidy and Kazuchika Okada. Sit-down interview with Chris Jericho just days before I see him in concert. Shida and Soho for the title. And 6-man tag title on the line. Young Bucks and Hangman Page taking on the Hardys and Brother Zay.
That's a stacked-ass card, man. That's a good-ass Dynamite show on Wednesday night.
There's more title matches than there were on Title Tuesday.
That's a shot. That shot's fired by JB there.
Well, there's only 2 titles on Title Tuesday, so.
But there were contenders, title contenders matches. Come on, pal.
And look,
Sunday, I'm looking on the bright side. Both those title matches had title changes.
Yeah.
So at least they were significant.
On Saturday, we saw a surprise in the Collier Shot Battle Royal. Mr. Matt Cardona was in there. And an update on him. He is told that, let's see. We were told that he'd been working with Impact up until earlier this year, and Impact wanted to stop using non-contracted wrestlers as much, and so Cardona was not interested in signing a contract, as he's doing well without one. Obviously, that's no surprise there. We're told this booking was just a one-off. He's not signed with Impact, and the two sides seem to be open with working with each other in the future. Does Cardona ever sign? And I don't know if he will. He probably doesn't need to with as much as he makes in the Indies.
If he ever signs a deal somewhere, it's gonna have to be for a lot of money. And he's gonna have to. They're gonna have to give him a lot of creative freedom too. So
yeah, WWE is gonna have to give him a big paycheck, and
yeah, it would be quite the contract. WWE
give him the Cody treatment
to burn him off of what he's doing now.
I would rule out a WWE return at some point.
I wouldn't rule out like a Royal Rumble appearance.
If he gets money, I mean, WWE could pay him.
But it would have to be. I'm telling you, it would have to be a lot of money, man.
Give him the Cody treatment, where he keeps his name in his theme, and which is his same band does the theme, so that's easy, right? Doesn't Cody and Matt's themes are not the same band?
Yeah, down straight.
So never know. A surprise, maybe, because everybody like myself kept unsubscribing. But Ring of Honor Final Battle, which takes place in Dallas at December 15th, will air exclusively on Honor Club, and that is for the subscribers. That is not, you're going to have to be an Honor Club subscriber and then pay more to see it. Your $10 is going to get you to be able to watch to that. And I would only assume, Matt, that was just a direct answer to the lack of subscribers, because there's really been a lack.
This is how it should have been all along.
Yeah.
This is how it should have been all along. If you want people to stick around on that subscription service like that, you got to give them more of an insight of that weekly product, because that weekly product is AEW Dark with a Ring of Honor paintbrush. That's all it is.
Hardcore afterthought.
It's AEW Dark with the ROH brand. So yeah,
any title progression basically happens on AEW television.
Yeah, and that's bad. So this is very good for Ring of Honor, and I feel like this will make my Honor Club membership more worthwhile. More content like this is, why I want to subscribe to their service. So,
well, I quit months ago, so maybe I'll give it another shot come December. We'll have to see. I don't know. Like I said, it's all there's just been no effort put into it. All the progression is on AEW television. And like I saw somebody, it might have been Kate from Fightful tweet, like when the Young Bucks made that open challenge, it's like, why don't they do that on Ring of Honor programming, not AEW. But and alas, hey, guess what? That match is on AEW Dynamite. So it's like there's no incentive especially no incentive to do it now. But is the pay-per-view even going to be incentive enough? Because everything's, I don't know. It's
every single Ring of Honor pay-per-view under the Tony Khan era has absolutely delivered. I do not foresee Final Battle being any different. So definitely that's worth $10 easy.
Lots of stuff announced ahead of time. I've never seen 6 things on the WWE site going into Monday Night Raw at the top of the hour. But we already looked ahead to Dynamite, so let's look ahead to Monday Night Raw here in just about 7 minutes. Jey Uso going head-to-head with Judgment Day's Damian Priest. Becky Lynch against Indy Hartwell for the NXT title. Drew McIntyre against Sami Zayn. Logan Paul returning to Monday Night Raw. Of course, he challenged Rey Mysterio as we predicted. That was going to happen at Crown Jewel, and we were correct. New Day take on Alpha Academy. And it says the Judgment Day revel once again in becoming undisputed WWE tag titles. From Fightful Select. Let's see what else we got. This wasn't really... we knew this was happening, but they didn't put it in the preview. Gargano's taking on Giovanni Vinci. Akira Tozawa takes on Bronson Reed. Oh boy.
That'll be a good 30 seconds.
He's going to get yeeted into the 5th row. Katana Chance and Xia Li for main event, along with Tyler Bate and Damon Kemp. Mini spoiler. Weird spoiler, but there's going to be a women's tag team title match tonight.
Very nothing. I scrolled and looked. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever.
And Natalya and Nikki Cross. What a odd pairing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. Other than
what
that,
are you surprised? Vince is out of creative power. Nikki's back on TV. She was in the background of that one segment last week, and now she's in a match this week. It's so funny how, Vince disappears out of the picture, and all these people that were gone from TV are being shifted back in one at a time.
What do you think about this whole kind of brand dick swinging between?
I want to see Adam Pearce beat Magnus's ass. That's what I want to see.
Are you liking
I think it feels forced because we're right around Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I kind of wish this would be happening in any other point during the year. Get back to me in a month after Survivor Series, and I'll tell you if I like it or not. Because honestly, if it's going to be a thing, I would like for it to go. I would like for it to be happening longer than just, okay, we're doing this for Survivor Series. I would like to see like the petty rivalry between the two brands continue past like WWE's big show in November.
Well, Pierce is obviously in great shape. I don't know when the last time he wrestled a match was, but a lot of people don't know that he was a wrestler. Of course, both him and Aldis, former NWA world champions. So very interesting to see how that progresses. I don't know. I kind of groaned a little bit when he kicked Pierce out, but with Triple H in charge, maybe we shouldn't groan immediately like we do with Vince. So
let's let it play out for a couple weeks, see how it goes.
We got a couple extra minutes. What did you like this week from your television screen? Danielson and Andrade was pretty damn good.
Well, I thought Collision was awesome on Saturday night.
Collision was
very good.
House of Collision. The House of Black.
They came back in a big way on Saturday night. So
3 appearances. We're heading towards a House of Black and Blackpool Combat Club feud. That's not going to suck.
John Moxley's back.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty good. I thought the LA Knight Paul Heyman segment was pretty good. Opening SmackDown.
I'm so tired of Heyman and Reigns, dude. It's so tired at this point.
Yeah,
Like, I'm so over it. Like, as good as Heyman is at his job, it feels so tired at this point. Like, at this point, I would give anything for Heyman to go back with Brock, just so we could get new verbiage from him, because it's the same shit from him every week when he gets his hands on a microphone. I would actually prefer him to go back with Brock just so we could get some different wording to come out of his mouth again.
Yeah, Booker T probably said the most intelligent thing he's ever said, and said, "You got to capitalize right now. He won't be hot this forever. He won't be this hot forever in terms of
You're
LA
for an
Knight."
LA Knight, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of LA Knight. But obviously they're gonna finish the story at Mania with Cody. I think is almost exactly you almost can book it right now.
Well, I see a question in the chat. Well, Ozzy, what are you talking about? Did Nia Jax get fired again? Where is that coming from?
No idea.
I haven't heard anything about that.
No.
So you're gonna have to point us in the direction of what you're talking about. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have not heard that, and would have probably been all over the world if it did happen. So, but anyways, we're gonna give you a couple extra minutes to get some food and some drink, and maybe use the restroom and get ready for Monday Night Raw.
Hoping for a good show tonight. On paper, it doesn't sound amazing, but yeah. I'm still hoping that they can deliver us a good show tonight.
I think I'm gonna watch live and see if it catches my attention, and then if not,
Vikings and 49ers don't scream must watch, so I just
Star.
have Raw
I might just get on Starfield if I get tired of both. We'll see what happens, but follow Matt on the Twitter at Rob Showtime, me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. We're going to be tweeting during Raw right now, so go enjoy it. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you next week. Have a good one. And as always, we're brought to you by